The world needs B2K.
B2K's breakup was a huge shock to their fans.
Boys for Life Tour. The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. Journey. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. Your chance to say goodbye to the songs that changed our lives. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
From the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum. We're in downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready to watch the Grizzlies try to extend their winning streak to 4 for the first time this season, because you got an opportunity to do it tonight. Grizz Spurs, 7 o'clock in San Antonio. FanDuel Sports Network is where you're going to be able to watch it. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 20 minutes, Jonah Dylan's going to join me. He, of course, covers Memphis football, among other things, for the Commercial Appeal. What did he make of Ryan Silverfield leaving for Arkansas? Who does he believe will be the Tigers' next football coach? I'll ask him both of those questions and others. We're going to do that in about 20 minutes. When I finish talking to Jonah, we'll take a break, come back. Do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, new LSU coach Lane Kiffin. He was introduced in Baton Rouge. The press conference was carried live on ESPN. I'll run you through the highlights in about 40 minutes. New Florida coach John Sumrall was introduced in Gainesville. He was asked about whether he'll bring any of Tulane's recruits with him. He delivered a unintentionally funny quote. I'll share it with you a little later on in the show. New Auburn coach Alex Golesh, he was introduced on the plains. He was asked whether he likes to golf, clearly in reference to reports about former coach Hugh Freeze spending lots of time on the golf course that some believe would have been better spent in the office. We'll play Alex Golesh's answer for you. We'll do that in just a bit. The Patriots beat the brakes off of the Giants in Monday Night Football. Final score, New England 33, Giants 15. New York's kicker nearly broke his foot kicking the ground instead of the ball. That's a dumb thing to do. We'll show you. We'll show you that in the third segment. And the NBA has named its Players of the Week for the previous 7 days. In the East, it's Jalen Brunson. In the West, it's Luka Doncic. Both used to play for the Mavericks.
Damn.
But Nico Harrison let one walk and traded the other. If you want to know why he no longer has a job, that's it. Crazy legacy he left behind in Dallas. We'll be thankful that Nico never ran this franchise during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 22 of a scheduled 82, it's set for tonight in San Antonio. Grizz Spurs, Frostbank Center. Tip is 7 o'clock. You can watch it on the FanDuel Sports Network with Pete, Brevin, and Rob. Big Bet Bennett, it's good to see you on this Tuesday morning.
Good to see you too, man.
I have good news and I have bad news. What would you what do you want first?
I'll take the bad news first.
Okay, the bad news is that the Grizzlies are, despite being on a 3-game winning streak and flying high, the Grizzlies are 5.5-point underdogs tonight.
Interesting.
You trying to take points?
Well, no Wemby for the Spurs.
That's
I'm just
right.
kind of surprised there. This is a revenge game for the Grizz.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Of course it is.
And they're going up against the same cast of characters. Edey's back. I don't know, man. That's kind of weird.
The bad news is that despite a 3-game winning streak while flying high, the Grizzlies are 5.5-point underdogs tonight. So barring a surprise, an upset, the 3-game winning streak is expected to end tonight. That's the bad news.
Okay.
The good news is that, on the other hand, the past 2 rookies of the year are both sidelined. And they both play for the Spurs, in case you were confused. Yep. And so you would consider that good news, right?
I would consider that great news.
Perhaps you're underdogs even against this version of the Spurs, but you'd rather play this version of the Spurs than a version of the Spurs that includes 2024 NBA Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama, and 2025 NBA Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle. They're both sidelined right now. I like that. That's good. You would consider that good news.
I would consider that good news,
Not that we sit around rooting for men's health to fail. That's not what we do. But we will take advantage of it when we can. And perhaps tonight is an opportunity to take advantage of it if we can. Also worth noting, the Spurs are 13-6, while the Grizzlies are, even with that 3-game winning streak, just 9-12. So tonight the Grizz are, if you want to summarize this, on the road against, at least record-wise, a better and undeniably still a healthier team. That's not a great combination. But Bennett, no matter what happens tonight, this is the main thing I wanted to tell you, we're kind of playing with house money on this 4-game road trip because the Grizz are already, as you know, 3-0 on this 4-game road trip. And that means the worst they can do on this 4-game road trip is go 3-1. And when the Grizzlies started this 4-game road trip, you and I, last Wednesday, we both said that we would take 3-1.
Yes.
In fact, I was willing to take 2-2. I
wanted to get greedy.
You got a little greedy.
And it worked out.
It's worked out for you. So after tonight, no matter what happens, the worst the Grizzlies could be on this 4-game road trip is 3-1 before they come back home Friday against the Clippers. I feel good.
I'd like to push back.
I will. What are you pushing back on?
I would like to get really greedy.
You can get really greedy, but I thought you were pushing back on just a statement of fact. No matter what happens tonight, the worst the Grizzlies can do on this road trip is come home 3-1. That's good. I feel good. I'm going to watch tonight stress-free. I'm going to watch stress-free.
I'm not going to watch stress.
You want to be stressed a little bit.
I want to stress because the thing is while it is a 3-0 road trip so far, it's against 3 bad teams. And tonight you got a chance to really cap it off with the good team, the good win over the good team, which you haven't had any of those this year? Have you had one? Have we had one win over a good team? That's what I'm saying. I feel like the stakes are a little higher than you're making them out to be here.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying that there are skeptics out there.
Yes.
You're saying that.
Okay, you beat 3 bad teams. That's what the skeptics are saying. Not me, the skeptics.
I know, but I don't like to hear that come out of your mouth. I'm going to close my ears.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. All right?
The skeptics are saying you beat 3 bad teams.
Hey, listen, we're down 4 GD point guards, all right?
I know.
We'll take the wins wherever we can get them. We will take the wins wherever we can get them. Get the Kings back here.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday, right? Play tonight. We'll fly home tomorrow. Get the Kings in here tomorrow night. I'll be happy. All right?
Fair enough.
I'll take wins however you can get them when you're down 4 point guards. So I'm not over here trying to nitpick stuff like you are. But I hear your point. There are skeptics out there.
Yes.
I say things like the Grizzlies are on a 3-game winning streak and flying high. And then there are skeptics, and they say,
they only beat bad teams.
They just beat bad teams.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, right?
They didn't see like prime Kawhi, trying to win that game the other night for the Clippers. They just see the Clippers record.
They don't realize that's Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, like trying to win a basketball
game. That's
two-time
NBA champion.
Exactly.
2-time Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard. This man got paid millions of dollars to do nothing for a tree company. All right? Grizzlies just discarded him like he was nothing, like he was absolutely nothing. But I know those people exist. I don't communicate with them too much, but I know they're out there. So what you're suggesting is tonight is an opportunity to prove to the world, no, we could take care of the bad teams like the Kings and the Mavericks and the Pelicans, but we'll go get the Spurs too.
Things are different.
Things are different. I can already tell you, if that happens, people will just say, yeah, Wemby was out. What are you talking about? All right? So we're going to be right back. We're going to be right back where we were no matter what.
And then I'll counter with half our teams out every game.
Every game, half the team's out. All right? Good. They don't have Wemby for a minute. We don't have nobody ever.
Right.
All right? So I don't feel sorry for him.
No, I don't either.
I heard Jess ask CJ if he thought the Grizz would extend their winning streak to 4 games tonight.
I didn't even have to hear your answer. I already know what you're going to say.
He provided a very quick no. It was like the fastest no you've ever heard come out of a person's mouth. Would you consider yourself more optimistic than CJ? I think you are.
Without question, more optimistic when it relates to the Grizzlies than
just
CJ.
Just as it relates to the world, would you consider yourself more optimistic?
No, I think he's pretty optimistic about the world.
Okay.
I think he's pretty optimistic about the world. But when it comes to the Grizz, maybe I'm more optimistic.
Jess is in there doing her best, just trying to get excited about a 3-game winning streak. She was like, so you think it could be 4? He's like, no, what are you talking about? I mean, he might be right.
He might be, yeah.
But I prefer to remain optimistic. The Grizz have Zach Edey, and the Spurs don't.
That's the thing. They got to answer for that.
The Grizzlies have Zach Edey, and the Spurs don't last time I checked.
Right.
All right? Hopefully it comes down to that. That's what I want it to come down to. You realize after Sunday's 32-point, 17-rebound, 5-block performance in a win over the miserable Kings, man, you can't play them enough.
No. I think we might get another one. I don't
know.
It might be over, actually.
Man, I'd try to schedule them 82 times a season.
I think that series might be over, man.
Oh,
sorry.
Man, that's too bad. I can't get enough of those guys. So after he did that to them, Zach Edey is now averaging 13.6 points, 11.1 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks through 8 appearances this season. He was sidelined to start off-season surgery. All 3 of those numbers are up from last season.
Okay.
Also up, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, steals per game. And if you could take out the game where Edey only played 6 minutes because of a migraine after Nikola Jokic popped him in the back of the head, if you could take that out, Zach Edey would be averaging 15.3 points and 12.6 rebounds in 28.1 minutes per game through 7 appearances.
Okay.
Trivia time.
All right, what's going on?
Do you know how many players in the NBA are currently averaging at least 15 points and at least 12 rebounds per contest?
I bet Jalen Duren is.
Nope.
He's not. Is it just one? Is it a trick question?
It's not a trick question, but you have identified there's only one name.
If there was another name I was going to guess, it would have been Jalen Duren. But if it's just one, then it is, of course, Zach Edey.
No, what, Bennett, Jesus.
Oh,
Lord.
You mean besides Zach Edey?
Besides Zach Edey.
Oh, Jokic.
It's Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
That's right. It's one person. Nikola Jokic, right now, the best player in the world, most agree, is averaging 29 points, 12.8 rebounds, and 34.9 minutes per game. Again, if you take out the Denver game in which Zach had to leave after just 6 minutes, because that misconstrues his impact. It messes up the numbers.
Did Jokic do that on purpose?
I think so.
He tried to skew the numbers.
He's trying to skew the numbers
He
with
tried
a
to skew the
forearm to the
numbers.
back of the head. He tried to skew the numbers with a forearm to the back of the
center
head.
a migraine.
You gave our
to
center a
skew
migraine.
the numbers.
He's just out there trying to skew the numbers. You give him 3 MVPs. You give him a championship. Not satisfied.
Guess that one enough.
Still out. Got to have everything, I guess. Here comes a 7'3" man out of Purdue trying to out-rebound you. What do? Bam! Pop in the back of the head. Skew the numbers. If you take that out, because he had to leave after 6 minutes.
Yep.
Head was hurting. Zach Edey would join Nikola Jokic as the only 2 players in the NBA in this season averaging at least 15 points and 12 rebounds. He would be averaging 12.6 rebounds per game right now if you take out that Denver game. And that would rank second in the NBA behind only Nikola Jokic. And Nikola Jokic is getting his 12.8 boards per game in 34.9 minutes per game. While Edey, outside of the Denver game, in which he only played 6 minutes, he's getting 12.6 boards per game in only 28.1 minutes per game. So you can reasonably suggest, are you ready for this? You can reasonably suggest Zach Edey is the best rebounder in the world right now. Say it with me.
Zach Edey is the best rebounder in the world right now.
Looks that way. Looks that way. How nice is that to have the best rebound in the world?
That is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
When you put it like that, that is pretty awesome. And you know what, man? It's like, in all seriousness, this is going to sound silly, but when you just look at the difference between him this year and last year, it really is the hands, man. He is not fumbling anything. Like, he is so sure about what he's doing this year. And last year, you know, he'd get fed in the post.
There was some of that,
He
sure.
would fumble. He'd put it below his waist, stuff like that. He's just sure about it. It seems like he's just more sure about everything right now. Like, when he crashes the glass, all of it.
He seems
It's the
very
hands,
comfortable.
man.
He seems very comfortable. And very comfortable despite missing, like, a large chunk of the offseason. Obviously, all of the preseason and much of, you know, he wasn't available to start the season.
Right.
He missed a lot of time that is theoretically very important
Yes.
for a player entering his second year in the NBA. And that could have been a setback. It often is for other people. And he comes back looking healthy. That's first and foremost. Like, he looks healthy. Like, you don't watch him and go, yeah, he looks like he's coming off of an injury.
Yep.
He looks healthy. And he's also better than ever. And yeah, there were signs of this when he was in college at Purdue. You know, he averaged 12.9 rebounds per game as a junior. And then he averaged 12.2 rebounds per game as a senior.
Mm-hmm.
As a junior, he had the best offensive rebounding rate in the entire country. As a senior, he was third in the same category. So there were signs of it in college that he could be this dominant on the glass. But then people just wondered whether it would translate to the NBA. There were real skeptics. There's one NBA draft person, you know, puts out mock drafts and stuff like everybody else in the world. And there's like, I just saw, not picking on her, but like, you know, this stuff happens to me sometimes too. It happens to everybody.
Oh, no.
You
I
saw
know.
this one.
Of course.
Yeah.
Everyone's brought it back out of the woodworks. Yeah.
And she's like, this is the worst draft pick I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And it was the Grizzlies taking Zach Edey in the top 10. And she was like, this is the worst. And
I don't, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, like, obviously that's a mistake.
Sure.
She'll have to deal with that in her mentions for the rest of her
That's
life.
right. That's right. So
Okay.
I ain't got to come here and defend her.
Right. But like, she wasn't alone in thinking it was a questionable pick. She provided the video to get it flipped around back at her over and over again. But like, that wasn't a completely, I bet if you go back to the night of the draft, when that clip took off, I bet you the immediate responses weren't, you're crazy, you're stupid, you're dumb, you don't know what you're talking about. I bet you there was a lot of co-signing.
I think it's easy. I think that was an easy one to grab. Like, if you're doing your draft grades and you want to just find a moment and say, okay, where's the bad pick? I gotta have a bad pick when I'm doing my draft grades. You take the big center that's a traditional center, because you probably got a decent chance of being right about that, even though now the NBA is clearly trending more towards traditional bigs than it has in the past decade.
Right.
It seems like.
Yeah, it's just that, like, on the night of the draft, and I guess even this started to change very early, but there were still skeptics about whether all of this would translate. Like, could the two-time Wooden Award winner actually be an effective and impactful starting center in the NBA? That was a real question people had.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously this franchise said yes, emphatically. Like, they believed in it in a way that I don't think a lot of people believed in it at the time. Like, they had real conviction about this. And it looks like it's a home run. Like we talked about yesterday, the Grizzlies have had 2 lottery picks in the past couple of drafts, and it's still early and things can go a million different directions, but it looks like they hit on both of them. Zach Edey, again, you can reasonably call the best rebounder in the world right now, and he's coming off 32 points, 17 boards, 5 blocks in a game. And Cedric Coward is, Cooper Flagg's doing his thing. And by his thing, I mean like things that have never been done before by a person his age. He's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of Cedric Howard, outside of Cooper Flagg, who do people love more than Cedric Howard out of the 2025 NBA draft as of this moment? Not many, maybe none. So,
my guy in Philly.
Yeah,
BJ,
he's great.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's great. But, if you redrafted 2024, Zach Edey would go much higher.
No question.
Maybe number one.
I think he would, without question, be a top 5 draft pick. There's no doubt in my mind.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. But
maybe,
you'd have to have a conversation about number one.
I agree, man.
And if you redid the 2025 draft already, Cedric Howard would go much higher. He just would.
Yes.
And probably top 5. So the Grizzlies found 2 guys in the past 2 drafts outside of the top 5 that you could reasonably say would easily go into the top 5 right now if you redid both of them. And one of them would maybe go number 1. So in a time where, this season has gotten off to a crazy start and the status reports are ridiculous sometimes, there's some encouraging stuff here.
We've settled into the season a little bit. I feel like we've settled in a little bit here. Yeah.
I don't want to speak for everybody else, but I feel like I've settled in.
Good.
Hey.
I want to get to 10 wins tonight, man. I do.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would just feel like a milestone. It would feel like a milestone.
Hey, I'll pop a bottle if you want to.
I'm down.
If you want to pop a bottle tonight after win number 10, I'm happy to do it.
Okay, I'll text
In fact, I'll probably pop one regardless.
Sounds great.
Either way, right? Hey, tonight, big game, Grizz at Spurs.
It's a big game.
It's the best rebounder in the entire world, on the whole planet, Zach Edey, trying to help the Grizzlies extend a winning streak to 4 games. You can watch it on the FanDuel Sports Network, and if you want to see Zach Edey in person, I should remind you, you can do that Friday night when the Grizzlies return to FedEx Forum for a game against the 2-time NBA champion, 2-time Finals MVP, the before-mentioned Kawhi Leonard, and his teammates with the Los Angeles Clippers. When we come back, going to turn our attention to Memphis football. How will Ryan Silverfield do at Arkansas? Who's going to replace him at Memphis? Jonah Dylan. He's going to join me right after this break. I'll ask him both of those questions. You're watching the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
The Grizzlies are the one thing everyone in the family can agree on. So join us every Sunday this season for Sunday Family Fun Days. It's a steal at just $35 and includes a ticket to the game, a $10 food voucher, post-game free throws on the court, and a meet and greet with mascot Grizz. Space is limited, so grab your tickets now for this unique experience your family won't soon forget. Go to grizzlies.com/Sunday and have a fun day.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Memphis. Monday Night Raw returns with non-stop action, unmatched energy, and the superstars you love.
We don't get mad, we get even. We don't go home till we beat them. This is our time, we're leaving. Give me the crown undefeated.
Witness the moments you'll never forget. Monday Night Raw, Memphis. Monday, February 16th. Tickets and ringsider packages on sale next Friday.
Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio, and I'm joined now by the Commercial Appeal's Jonah Dylan, who, of course, covers, among other things, Memphis football. And I know you were nice. You said you were going to put your phone on Do Not Disturb. I would encourage you, as a former beat writer, don't do that. I feel bad you even being here. I tried not to keep you too long. I appreciate you, but I know I'm pulling you away from a phone in a stressful time. Coaching searches are stressful.
They're very stressful. I've been I can't let my phone get out of my like I have to see it. I have to be holding it at all times because you never know you're going to get a call or a text, and then you got to drop everything.
Well,
so.
It's fine. Like, you even see it on TV now. Adam Schefter will be sitting doing a live hit, and he's got his phone in his hand.
Pops out. Yeah,
he's like looking at it while other people are talking.
Yeah,
because that's the world you're in. That's not really my job anymore to chase coaching stuff. But it used to be, and I can remember just the craziest stories because when I was the beat writer, John Calipari's name was attached to stuff almost every offseason. And one just funny story, I think it was maybe 2003. Ben Howland had left Pitt for UCLA, and John's from Pittsburgh. And I had heard he wanted the job. He would leave Memphis for Pitt as his home. And but he had not publicly commented on it at all. And I was at the Final Four, and a Pitt beat writer was working on this. He was working on, is John Calipari, would he do it? And all of this stuff. So we ended up getting together, and we were working the story together.
Yeah.
Just trying to beat Andy Katz, I guess, at the time. And I could not get John to take my call, return a text, nothing. And at one point, this is a true story, I grabbed the guy from Pittsburgh. I grabbed his phone. I was like, what's your area code? Whatever Pitt's area code is. I was like, perfect. Let me call John from your phone because it'll pop up a Pittsburgh area code. He answered first ring.
Wow.
And I was like, he was like, hello? I was like, John? He was like, yeah. He's like, hey, this is Gary. He was like, what? Couldn't have been more guys because I was calling from a Pitt area code. But that's the type of stuff you end up doing.
Okay, well, I got to find interesting. Okay, I'm going to go find some of the different area
That wasn't advice
codes.
as much as it was just reminiscing about a goofy story.
Yeah.
But you are just chasing things nonstop, and it can be difficult to separate what fact from fiction.
Yeah, also, the season just ended on Thursday.
Yes.
So you think when the regular season ends, that's when you get okay, now I can, it's been a long season, it's a grind every week. Then you're like, okay, I can take a break. No, has not been a break this week. And signing day is tomorrow, by the way. So,
I know. It's I should say I found it. I remember it being stressful, but also invigorating in a way. Like you feel like you're doing something.
Yeah, it's like everyone says. I mean, there's a rush of
there's that
knowing what's going on, or the breaking news, or just being in the middle of something that everyone is kind of talking about. So there's definitely part of it that's that, and then there's part of it where it's like, all right, I have no control over my schedule for the next however long.
That's right.
I have no idea when I'm gonna have to just drop everything.
Oh, I mean, I've dropped everything a million times. I've walked out of dinners, pulled over on highways. Just I remember the life that you live, and I wish you luck. Let's back up. Ryan Silverfield is now the coach at Arkansas. That happened Sunday. How much was that in the works? How did this happen?
Yeah, I mean, obviously in the works, you saw his name being out there throughout the season, right? I mean, it wasn't surprising that his name was attached to jobs. Now, when we see these things come out about this person is a candidate or this person is a person of interest, you see all these terms being thrown out. Some of it is real, obviously, and some of it isn't. I think it's fair to say throughout the season, this season even beginning, there was more interest in Ryan Silverfield from these other jobs than there had been in the past. I think it's fair to say. You saw what happened with Arkansas over the past couple of days. There was the report about Alex Golesh accepting the job. Obviously, that wasn't true. But Alex Golesh was a candidate, and a lot of reports out there that he had been offered the job, right? Hadn't made any decisions. So I saw some people saying, oh, Arkansas clearly targeted Ryan Silverfield from the start. He accepted the job weeks ago. That's not true. Okay. People were surprised, even around the program, on Sunday morning when he accepted the job. So it did come about quickly. I wrote about this on Sunday after it happened. A lot of coaching dominoes. I know everyone was expecting the Lane Kiffin stuff to kind of affect everything else.
Right.
In this situation, the Alex Golesh stuff affected it a lot.
Because, this is fascinating to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen some people out there, and people I've talked to have kind of echoed this. The Iron Bowl had a huge impact on this happening, and ultimately probably on Memphis, because DJ Durkin was, as you saw, a lot of people reporting a candidate to be the full-time head coach. He was the interim coach at Auburn. Had they won that game, they would have got to 6. They would be going to a bowl game. There was a lot that would have obviously created a lot of momentum for him at Auburn. They lose the game in a close game, the fumble on that last drive. And then Alex Golesh ends up getting the job, which means that Arkansas is available, which means that Ryan Silverfield is now a candidate and ultimately the person at Arkansas. So the chain reaction stuff, I think you got to look at the Iron Bowl and not necessarily the Lane Kiffin stuff. We should revisit that a couple years down the line to see how it all played out.
It is just wild how life does that. I mean, you're like multiple people's entire lives change because of the end of an Alabama-Auburn football game. So just to like play this out, let's go back to Saturday night. We're all sitting around, at least a lot of us were, and watching the Iron Bowl and like, oh man, this is the good stuff because
it was an awesome game.
It was awesome. Yeah. And it wasn't just because it was Alabama-Auburn awesome. It was because you've got this Lane Kiffin thing hanging over, and if Auburn wins this game, Ole Miss is in the SEC championship game. And so like the stakes are high for a lot of people, and we're in it. And if Auburn wins that, which was very reasonable in the moment, there's a scenario where DJ Durkin is just promoted to permanent head coach. They remove the interim tag. The Auburn job never opens in any sort of in the way that it did. Alex Golich then realizes, okay, I'm not Auburn. I'll take Arkansas. And Ryan Silverfield might not have anywhere to go.
Yeah, and to be clear, that's not like a one-to-one chain reaction of like, if this had happened, this would have happened.
But
100%.
it's all in play.
It's in play, yeah. And definitely. And then what we'd be talking about right now, I have no idea. And again, maybe Alex Golich never wanted to go to Arkansas. Maybe he still wouldn't have taken it. It would have said USF. They were mobilizing a lot to try to keep him, obviously.
In revenue share, NIL, all that stuff.
And look, you saw the mobilization at Tulane. Obviously, they were never going to get to the money, and none of these schools were. But they tried. And so you never know how those conversations were going. So again, like, you don't know this would have happened if this had happened, but I think there's definitely a lot of correlation between these things.
There is it is not hyperbole to suggest it's possible that Alabama pulling out a game on Saturday night.
Just go onto that drive and look at the fumble. Like that could be it, yeah.
Maybe got Ryan Silverfield a $35 million contract in the SEC.
It's college football for you, right?
Wow.
That's crazy.
My favorite one of these, or at least one of these that I remember, and I've told you this off air, if you go back to the 2008 NCAA tournament, obviously Memphis fans remember that. It's Kansas over Memphis, Chalmers for the tie. Kansas was in the Elite Eight against Steph Curry and Davidson. And it's a one-possession game. I want to say it's a 2-point game, maybe 1-point game, but a 3-pointer would win it for Davidson. And they're coming up the court. Shot clock's off. And they're going to get a shot. Incredibly, Steph doesn't take the shot. Another guard did.
Yeah.
But if that shot goes in and Davidson eliminates Kansas, I know this sounds crazy, but I used to go on radio in Kansas City all the time. And they would be like, so do you think Bill Self's ever going to get it done? That was a real thing before he got it done. He had not been to a Final Four yet. And I believe that if that shot from Davidson goes in and Kansas is eliminated, it's possible Memphis wins the national championship first and foremost. Yeah. So here we go again.
Yeah.
But more than that, my point, Bill Self would have been under incredible pressure. The Oklahoma State job had opened. He's an Oklahoma State graduate. T. Boone Pickens had a blank check to give him. And I really do believe if that Davidson shot goes in, Bill Self leaves Kansas and is the head coach at Oklahoma State, probably still today. And like this is the way this stuff goes.
And imagine all the other chain reactions that would have happened if Bill Self was the coach at Oklahoma State. You know, like.
Right. Okay, so then Bill Self goes to Oklahoma State. Now the Kansas job's open. What does that mean? And like first and foremost, like, you know, Memphis is playing UCLA in the semifinals, and then you might not even have to play Kansas in the national. You don't have to play Kansas in the national championship game. So all of that stuff. All right, enough hypotheticals. Let's look back at the Ryan Silverfield era. Everybody's got an opinion on it. You were closer to it than most. How do you view it?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I covered the last 3 years of it, right? So I missed the 6-6 seasons, and I saw the 9 and the 10 and 11 win, and then obviously 8 this year. So the times when they won more. Now, I also saw the times when a lot of those teams that were pretty good weren't in the conference anymore, and so that changes obviously the expectations because ultimately the last 3 years, I sat here in the offseason and looked at the conference and said, "There's no reason why Memphis shouldn't be competing for the conference championship," and that didn't happen any of those years. And I understand why fans are unhappy about that and why it really felt like it turned in November with the 3 straight losses this year to the point where in the past, when they had lost games the past couple of years, fans had been pretty out on Ryan Silverfield. But then he'd got them back, to be honest. I mean, the Liberty Bowl win a couple of years ago got a lot of people on board, got a lot of people excited. The way last season ended and then some of the recruiting this year, A.J. Hill, people like that, people were back on board. Early in the season, they were saying, please don't leave, right? Ryan Silverfield kind of says it all the time, like, oh, they go back and forth every week between, you know, get out of here and we don't want you to leave. But, like, it's kind of true. But I do think the way that this season ended and even the conversations that people were having before Ryan Silverfield left for Arkansas, I don't know that fans were getting back on board because of the expectations and where this program has been. It felt like at the end of this season, the story became the 6 years instead of just this season.
That's exactly right. And what you're describing there, like the back and forth, like, please don't go. Man, I can't wait for you to leave. Like, that would drive me insane. And I guess I'm part of it on some level, but that is the type of thing, if I were a coach, I would just have to really close my ears, and I couldn't hear it, because hearing it would drive me crazy.
Yeah, and I think Ryan Silverfield definitely, you could tell in the way that he
hears it.
He interacted with the media and the fans. He understood it. And obviously, you can see even the difference. I remember my first year on the beat was 2023. They went 9-3. I remember asking him in a press conference they played at Temple. There was nobody there. It was the least attended game I've ever seen, and it was on Black Friday morning. And they won against a really bad Temple team to get to 9-3. And I asked him what I thought was just kind of like a bland question in the press conference: how do you look back on the season? And he kind of, like, the most I ever saw him snap in a press conference, talking about, fans should be happy for 9 wins. These are the people who complain about politics but don't vote. That was the line that he used. And really defending, like, we won 9 games, you should be happy about this. And then thinking about the way that we heard him talking on Thursday night after they lost that game and had won 8 games, and how disappointed he sounded and how almost defeated he sounded in kind of comparison to that. I thought it was really interesting. For me, obviously, the bookend of my time on the beat, but also the way that these 3 years have kind of gone for Memphis.
Yeah, and every time I see a coach, like, have a moment like that, like the one you described, or a moment like Dabo has had multiple times this season, I always go, man, you shouldn't have done that. But, like, I know I would do that too.
Oh, I would do it every press. As I say, he only did it.
I am empathetic to that, because I like see one weird comment from somebody I kind of know in a chat sometimes, and I'm like, you know what, F that person.
That's me. People are in my Twitter mentions, and I'm like, I'm coming for this person. Like, so yeah, I mean, Ryan Silverfield was, I covered a lot of press conferences, and he's not one of those guys that goes out in the press conference and is saying fiery stuff, and you got quotes for your stories. A lot of times I'd go out of the press conference and be like, I don't know what the story is. He was just that kind of a coach. A lot of people are. But when he did have those moments, it would stand out because of that. And so I always remembered that press conference. Remembered the way that he was defending. We went 9-3, and then a lot of fans saying 9-3 is not good enough. It's unacceptable. And ultimately the last couple of years would even say that himself. I say, look, it wasn't good enough. We didn't go to the conference championship, and obviously fans were agreeing with that.
I think where I would bottom line it is, it could obviously have been worse. I mean, we lived through 3-21 through a 2-year Larry Porter era this century. So, like, that's something that can happen. So don't take 50-24 minus the Cotton Bowl for granted. It could be worse. The next guy might be worse. Memphis sort of nudged Josh Pastner out of here under similar context. Like, hey, you're doing okay, but you should be better. With the idea being, we're going to be better. And it's, like, never been better than even what Josh Pastner was, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
So the next hire isn't guaranteed to be as good as Ryan, and this could get worse. But I do think he should have accomplished more. Given the resources that have been invested in that program, given the programs that have exited the conference, everybody from Dan Walken to Ross Dellinger describes Memphis football as the best non-power conference job in the country, and the accomplishments aren't there to support that. And that will ultimately be, I think, how Ryan's tenure is mostly remembered.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it could get worse. It could also get better.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, I would put this one up here. I think USF, we talked about it. They've invested a lot in their program.
Yes.
Obviously, another situation where who are they going to hire?
Right.
And what are the expectations going to be? I think some people are going to say, a new coach comes in, typically it's like, okay, let's give him some years, rebuild the roster, et cetera. Realistically, and I'm saying this with no idea of who the new coach is, and I'm not trying to put pressure on anybody, there's no reason why the next coach can't win the conference championship next year.
Year one.
At Memphis. I mean, there's no reason why that can't
because
happen.
I don't want to say there's no rebuilding in college athletics anymore, but there doesn't have to be. You can remake an entire roster in like a month and have a legitimate top 25 team. And if you have that at Memphis, you don't even really need that at Memphis, but you can win the league with something close to that.
And also these other, you look at the conference next year, right? The other schools, USF is losing a coach.
They're all losing coaches.
The two teams that are playing for the conference title on Friday are losing their coaches. And so there's no, and so, okay, ECU's bringing some guys back maybe, and they're going to be a solid team next year. That Navy team has been really good. They have a lot of seniors, and they can't get guys in the portal, so I don't see that team being as good next year. Clip this and old takes expose me if they do. But there's really no reason why any of these teams can't make that step and be the best team in the conference next year. And again, like you said, with the resources, there's no reason why Memphis, with the right coach and the right transfer portal haul, can't be the best team in the conference next year. There's really just no reason.
Well, this is why earlier in the season, when things were going better for Ryan at Memphis and the Arkansas job was attached to his name, we talk every day, and we were sort of talking through it, and it was like, it's not crystal clear to me that you leave Memphis for Arkansas if you can get the money comparable, because it's probably definitely easier to get to the college football playoff from Memphis than it is from Arkansas, at least as it's currently constructed, and might just be a better job in the spirit of like trying to keep a job in wins and losses, staying at Memphis as opposed to Arkansas. But I wonder what you would think of this. I think the way it ended this season, that really became a moot point. You had to go. He had to go.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the massive pay raise. I think that he got, any coach, anybody would.
And Memphis was not going to try to counter that in any
and even if Memphis was going to try to counter, I don't know that they're paying him a lot of money. I don't know who they were negotiating against, but they're paying him a lot of money. Yeah, look,
I'd be surprised if I heard Memphis even made a serious counteroffer.
Yeah, like you had coaches, you had administrators and ADs at USF and Tulane and North Texas publicly coming out and trying to keep their coaches. Right. Now, again, this came together quickly, so it wasn't like, at North Texas, it was like pretty clear that Eric Morris was going to be a candidate for some job for a while. So this came together quickly, so that's part of it, but you didn't have public statements before Ryan Silverfield left about trying to keep him.
Right.
I think
it was very similar, but like when Arkansas came after John Calipari, Kentucky did not really try to keep him. They were like, yeah, well, if you want to go, you can go.
And also the way that it ended, going back to that, like they play on Thursday, they lose that game, right? The next 3 days before he left, people were talking about trying to fire him. I mean, and again, these are fans, but I heard from some people who were saying like, let's move on, and not necessarily of like you're doing such a bad job. This program is an embarrassment, which comes when you're firing a coach. It was like one of those, hey, we won some games, we did pretty well, but this program feels like it's kind of at a point we're plateauing and this is where we are. And if you have a situation where fans or people around the program are saying like, let's move on, and someone else is like, we want to hire you and pay you more money.
That's right.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's easy. Perhaps it would have been an easy decision no matter what, just based on money, but oddly, the way it ended made it an easier decision
100%
than it otherwise would have been. He had to go. Anybody telling him otherwise would have been giving him bad advice. You're the Memphis beat writer, not the Arkansas beat writer, so I don't mean to catch you off guard if I am. But I was listening to the Cover 3 podcast, CBS Sports, that my colleagues do, and they're terrific. And they were talking about Ryan Silverfield to Memphis, and they weren't really criticizing Ryan at all, but they were like, this just shows you Arkansas is all in on basketball and baseball, and they're comfortable. Like, you can't be great at everything, and maybe we can't even be great at football anymore. So let's just focus on men's basketball with John Calipari, baseball with whoever does that thing, and we'll just do our best at football. Does any of that sound true to you?
Well, I think that could be true, but I think still you're hiring a football coach. There's no reason why you wouldn't try to hire the best football coach, right? Even if you want to invest more in other sports, you're still going to try to hire the best person. Like we talked about before, they went through some other candidates and tried to hire them. Now, that's not crazy that happened. Obviously, Florida tried to hire Lane Kiffin. They hired John Summerall, and you saw them admitting it, basically. Everybody knows that that's what happened. And so just because you don't get your first choice, it doesn't mean it's not going to work out. There's plenty of examples of coaches not being the first choice and being really successful. I think at Arkansas, probably that's true, but I don't think that hiring Ryan Silverfield is necessarily like hey, we're just, this is where we are with football. They try to hire the best person. There's no reason why they wouldn't want to be successful. Where you get into the next part is, how are they allocating resources, right? Are they going to give Ryan Silverfield a lot of resources? They're suggesting that they are, and even the stuff that Hunter Yurachek was saying before they hired him and then after they hired him, and some of those statements of like, we are investing more money in this program. Obviously, we're going to see how that all plays out in terms of recruiting and in terms of player retention and transfer portal and stuff like that. But that's a conversation that you got to kind of revisit, I think, a couple years down the line.
So let's talk Memphis now. Of course I know Dan Mullen. Of course I know Hugh Freeze. But a lot of these candidates that have been published by you and other people are names that are mostly unfamiliar to I think most people, even those who follow college football. So run us through some of, if you can, like the people that make the most sense on a surface level to you.
Yeah, well, first of all, the amount of emails that I'm getting about Hugh Freeze over the past couple of days have been wild. If you look
Is
at
it positive or negative?
Both.
Okay, I would assume both.
The emails are either you have to hire this person or
you can't
literally
under any
hire anybody besides this person,
right.
Which is about how it goes with any reaction. I'm sure that'll be the reaction to whoever is ultimately hired. You look at these options and kind of things I wrote about. I think Jerry Mack is a name that makes a lot of sense. Now, that's somebody that I've heard, it's come up in my conversations with people. I didn't pull that name out of thin air. I'm not saying that he's being interviewed or they're hiring him, but that's somebody that makes a lot of sense.
I know nothing about him other than what I've read and what you've written, but I like the idea of this guy's a real head coach who has been successful.
So he's, everyone has a different, because people have asked me well, what are the criteria for the coach without names, whatever. And it's I don't know. It depends on, because all these people, I think you could hire a sitting head coach, be successful. You could hire an up and coming coordinator, be successful. You could even hire, one of these people, call them retread candidates, or someone who's been at a higher job, could be successful. And there's
people
examples.
Have strong, I don't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry, but people have strong opinions about what works and what doesn't. And the truth is, whatever it is you think, I can give you 5 examples of it working and 5 examples of it not working.
That's what I'm saying. And so I think the idea of, you have to hire a coordinator because you have to do this. Again, I can sit here and tell you this person worked and they were this type of a candidate. To Jerry Mack, look, he's a Memphis native, right? So has a connection. He's got a lot of connections in the city, has recruited the city. He was Tennessee's running backs coach and a former assistant at Memphis. NFL experience. He was the Jaguars running backs coach. And then the turnaround that he's had at Kennesaw State this year is, I think, the biggest turnaround in FBS this year, taking a team that was really the worst team in FBS last year, and they're playing for a conference title game this weekend. So, again, someone who I think makes a lot of sense. Charles Huff, another name, Tyson Helton, other guys who are sitting head coaches who have that sort of experience and have been successful at other places. There's the coordinator route. People are talking about, Will Stein was a name that people are excited about. Obviously, goes to Kentucky. Right. The thing with all these candidates is the person has to be interested in the job, right? Arthur Smith is a name that I'm hearing people talk about a lot. Again, is that a better job? Those are the questions you have to think about for some of these people.
Because he might, and for people who don't know, he's Fred Smith's son, and so that's
obviously there's a connection. Yeah, to put it lightly.
But I think for him, and I don't want to speak for him, but he's got a way being possibly the Memphis coach in the American against being an NFL head coach again.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So are these jobs, and then it's the same for every person. You can go after whoever you want, but they have to be interested. Somebody like Will Stein, maybe he would have been interested, but he has better options, or he's going to wait for another option. People like that, and so I think it's really difficult. Even some of these sitting head coaches, they might say, "Hey, I'm going to wait a little bit, or I'm going to go do that." And that's why you put out, these lists of names. And I know when I put out a list, people, how can this person be on the list? How can this person? There's 9 people on the list. They can only hire one person, so it's going to be wrong no matter what. It might not be any of those people. Right. And even some of those people, Jason Eck was on the list, the New Mexico coach. He's since signed an extension, so he's kind of off the board. And a lot of people will be in situations like that where they're going to choose to stay for whatever reason. As coaches do every year. And so it's hard to say. I don't think that they've made a decision yet, although, again, we'll check my phone after this and we'll see. But I do think, like you said before, the important thing is it doesn't have to be one type of person. It doesn't have to. You don't have to say, okay, well, this person has this specific thing experience. We have to hire them. You need the best person for the job. Right. And ultimately, that it doesn't matter what their experience is before. It matters what they're going to do when they get here.
And it's interesting because this is the first time Memphis is going to hire a men's basketball coach or football coach since revenue sharing, since NIL really became what it's become. And I can just remember in different eras of the sport, whether it was football or basketball, you're looking at hiring a head coach, you'd have to think about things like, does he have recruiting ties here? Does he, in basketball, know grassroots coaches who work here, here, and here? And push back if you want, but I just don't think any of that matters anymore. It's like, do you know how to run a football program competently? Do you know how to coach football, win games, have success? And the recruiting aspect of it, it's just money. It's just like it's like you never hear, think about it this way. In the NFL or the NBA, a general manager is described as people with good ties or relationships or all that stuff. It's just like, do they have cap room? Do they have resources? And at Memphis, you're going to have the best resources, or at least among the best resources in the American. That's how you recruit. The other stuff doesn't matter nearly as much or at all anymore.
Yeah, I think with recruiting, people always talked, it used to be like, well, you recruited this area or whatever. There's two things. One, and this was a story I was going to write before Ryan Silverfield left because of signing day. The area that Memphis had been recruiting the most under Ryan Silverfield was Georgia. Right. They were not really recruiting Tennessee, which is here. And it's also funny because he went to Arkansas and immediately started really, really hard recruiting the Arkansas area. And people said, well, of course he does. He has ties to that. That's not the area that he was recruiting when he was at Memphis. So obviously he's doing a good job with that, but that's not what he was doing when he was here. And so you could come in and decide, hey, I'm going to recruit this area or this area. It doesn't have to be Memphis. It doesn't have to even be Tennessee. It has to be, what is your experience, like you said? Now, obviously, it helps to know people in the area or to have at least some sort of idea of where you're going to recruit. Do you have experience recruiting any specific area or building a kind of network in that way? But whoever comes in here, by the way, there's going to be massive roster turnover regardless. And so the transfer portal is going to be huge for Memphis next season.
Last thing, and then I get you out of here. You can check your phone. I'm looking at Twitter. Nothing's happened that I can tell so far. You put this on my radar yesterday, and this is discouraging to me. As a Memphis alum, Ashley Henderson, who is the American Athletic Conference Player of the Year in women's soccer, just helped the Tigers win a conference championship and make the NCAA tournament, entered the transfer portal. She's from Memphis. She's a Harding Academy grad. So this is a local young woman who has decided there's something else out there for her other than representing her hometown university. And I can't help but notice that in less than a year now, the University of Memphis has lost the AAC Player of the Year in men's basketball to a power conference school, and presumably is about to lose the AAC Player of the Year in women's soccer to a power conference school. That's real mid-major stuff. Like should I be concerned?
Yeah, I mean, this is a unique one. It's an interesting situation because this program, obviously, it's been talked about a lot with Brooks Monaghan and how he's done. They've been really good at retaining players, and even look at this roster. They win basically, if you look at like the conference awards, they win like basically every single award. Yeah. And they've been really good at not losing their entire roster. Most mid-major teams, they would just lose their whole roster every year. Right. He doesn't really do that. Obviously, to lose that player, and when I was talking to people about it, PJ Haggerty came up of like, okay, it's a situation where this happens because there wasn't something, especially with basketball, that had been happening.
The league never mattered to basketball. Derrick Rose played here.
But even under Penny Hardaway, they're really losing, like they haven't lost like players they really wanted to keep.
Right.
And obviously that happened. And even with football, it hasn't really happened that much. I mean, there was one player last year, Xavier Hill, who left to go to Colorado, that they like really was going to be like this is a starter that we want to make a building block type player. So obviously they're not happy about it. At the same time, she's potentially going to, it's sort of like PJ Haggerty, potentially could go pro. Still, she's kind of working through that. I don't know what the ultimate situation is going to be. And I will say that they've been able, from what I was told, to keep the rest of their roster together, including all those other players. And they've been, with soccer, the difference is the recruiting aspect internationally. Recruiting a lot of players who, when they come to Memphis, they don't know a lot about the transfer portal, right? Because they don't talk about the transfer portal when you're growing up, maybe in other places. So you come here and you say, okay, this is the college I'm at, I'm going to play. And so they've been able to do that. But it is interesting. It's something to monitor if this is the type of thing that happens, not just in soccer, but like you said, in basketball and other sports moving forward if Memphis continues to be in this conference.
That is Jonah Dylan from The Commercial Appeal. Make sure you're reading him at memphisnews.com. I appreciate your time. I hate taking you away from the coaching search, but I always enjoy our conversations.
Happy to do it, yeah.
Thank you so much. Jonah Dylan from The Commercial Appeal. When we come back, we will turn our attention to a bunch of coaching press conferences from yesterday. Lane Kiffin was introduced in Baton Rouge. He still doesn't seem to get it exactly, intentionally or unintentionally. I'll run you through it next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Calling all collectors! Topps NBA basketball trading cards are back. It's available in the Grizzlies Den by Fanatics and online at Topps.com. Rip into bold color parallels, electric inserts, relics, and autographed cards from today's biggest stars and the next-gen talent. Look out for rookie cards of Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper, plus Grizzlies favorites John Morant, Jalen Wells, and so many more. You don't want to miss this drop. Grab your set before it's gone.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
You're the other white meat. How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it. I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's Ortho South at orthosouth.org. Now, I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
I don't know why I can't talk
What's
during
going
that
on?
read.
You need to get a little cough out?
No, I think I'm fine. Like, I'm sitting there talking to Jonah. I can talk fine. Something about that Ortho South read gets me.
You get excited about it.
Maybe I just get a little too excited.
I think you get excited, get a little tickle in your throat.
I think I get a little tickle in my throat when I get to that Ortho South read. That must be what's going on. Hey, Lane Kiffin was introduced in Baton Rouge yesterday. He's the new coach at LSU after leaving Ole Miss. Among other things, he said on his way to the airport, him and his son driving to the airport in Oxford, he said Ole Miss fans were trying to run him off the road. Do you think that's true?
No, I do not. I mean, I did see the clip of them yelling at him at the airport when he was getting on the plane.
Which was the best.
But I'm not sure anyone tried to run him. I don't know if I buy that.
That's what he claimed. That might be a little bit like, and John Calipari's go-to was always, and they were putting for sale signs in my yard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he loved talking about
He loved that.
We never got a picture of a for sale sign in his yard, I don't think, but he loved saying it.
He did, yes.
Perhaps this is something similar. Lane was asked about, he just said a lot of stuff that everybody at Ole Miss is pushing back on. Like that he, even 30 minutes before he accepted the job at LSU, still thought that he was going to be able to coach Ole Miss through the playoff. And immediately, like sources at Ole Miss are telling Ross Dellinger, like that's just not true. The guy was with the chancellor and the athletic director for 3 hours on Saturday night, and they made it clear to him, you're not coaching if you take the LSU job. That's why the meeting was 3 hours, because he kept trying to
push back on it. Yeah,
he kept trying to convince them. What if I do this? And what if I do that? What if I promise not to do this and promise to do that? And they were like, no. The answer is no. If you go to LSU, you're done here. Mm-hmm. And then he stands up there yesterday in Baton Rouge and is like, I still thought I was going to coach him on Sunday morning. It's like, what are you talking about? So just like a little stuff like that. Also, he more or less said Nick Saban and Pete Carroll both told him to take the job, and more or less said Nick Saban told him, hey, I've worked at LSU, I've worked at Alabama. LSU is the best job in the country. He still works at Alabama, so Alabama fans are pissed. And I bet you Nick Saban's furious. Like, yo, man, what are you doing?
Wait, Saban still does stuff for Bama? What's he do for Bama?
I mean, he's like an ambassador. He's on staff. He's an advisor. Or,
gotcha.
He's got an office and a direct deposit coming
that
every.
Makes sense.
He's pulling a paycheck from the University of Alabama still. He's on staff. And he is advising a candidate to take a rival's job, and according to Lane Kiffin, more or less saying, roll tide and all that, but between us, I've been at both places. LSU's the best job in the country.
Damn.
Yeah, right? And that's just Lane being Lane, because it gives him in his head, I think, and I'm analyzing stuff maybe I shouldn't even be analyzing now, but it feels like it's the type of thing that gives him cover, whether he knows it or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with God, talking about God. I just got to talk to God. Got to talk to God. Got to talk to Pete Carroll. Got to talk to Nick Saban. And so then what does he come back and say when he's got his purple tie on? Well, God told me this. Nick Saban told me that. Pete Carroll told me that. So, Nick
Saban is a godlike figure.
Guys, he's more or less saying, guys, I get it. But, everybody I know told me to do this. So you can be mad at me, but best I can tell, everybody would have done what I did because everybody told me to do it. If I wouldn't have done this, I would have been ignoring advice from Nick Saban, Pete Carroll, and God. So, whether I wanted to do it or not, whether I'm a scumbag or not, everybody told me to do this. You'll understand someday. And I just don't think that's true. I do not believe that. I mean, I believe he believes that. I don't believe everybody would do what he did. And I don't even believe those people all told him, including God, you have to do this the way that you're doing it. They might have said things like, man, the LSU job is great. And, man, the LSU job is better than the Ole Miss job, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, buddy, you might regret not taking this one if you don't take it. But do I believe somebody said, man, burn it down and get out of there and quit on your team and don't coach them in the playoffs? Under these circumstances, you have to go anyway. I don't know, man. Because that seems like a crazy thing to tell him because most people don't believe that. And even Ross Dellinger, who is tight with Lane Kiffin, had a story published last week, more or less from Keith Carter's office, all right? Ross Dellinger knows Lane Kiffin. Everybody talks about Lane Kiffin. Ross Dellinger actually knows him. And that means when Ross writes things like this, he knows Lane is going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And as somebody who writes things and you know they're going to see it, that's in your head. I'm going to have to take this phone call. But I got to tell the truth. I got to write what I believe. And I'll deal with that phone call when I got to take it. You know what Ross Dellinger wrote? Lane Kiffin did something most coaches would not do. Same thing I told you yesterday. I've heard so many people talking about this and just on very basic stuff, they've just got it wrong. Well, anybody would do this. No, anybody wouldn't do this. Not like this. In fact, most people wouldn't. I think almost everybody wouldn't. And Ross Dellinger wrote the same thing. And that guy covers college football as well as anybody. And then the other thing you hear, well, who could blame him for taking all that money? All that money was there anywhere. All the money, you could get that at LSU, Florida, or Ole Miss. So he didn't. It's the only, I told you this yesterday, the only true thing he said this weekend was this isn't about money. Because it's not. He didn't go to LSU to get rich. He could be rich anywhere. You really think Ole Miss let him walk out the door for $2 million?
No.
No. If he would have at any point over the past 3 weeks looked at Ole Miss and said, they're offering me $13 million a year. I need $13 million a year, and I'll sign it right now. That would have been done in 5 seconds, quicker. This was not about money, ever. And it's also not something anybody would have done. Most people would not have done this under these circumstances. And this is the thing Lane still either doesn't realize or refuses to realize. Here's the quote. He said, time heals a lot of things, and having gone through this in this conference before, I sure hope that happens. I sure hope that the people in Oxford and the fans at Ole Miss can focus on the amazing 6 years, the greatest football run in the history of the school. The greatest regular season in the history of the state just happened there, and I really hope they can focus on that. Asked to expand on the people yelling at him at the airport and just the real vitriol that is aimed at him right now. And he said, that's the SEC. I've been around long enough to know that. I'm not upset at those reactions by fans, by people. I think that people get really upset when you leave somewhere because they feel hurt because you're doing a really good job, end quote. It is true that Ole Miss fans would have been hurt had he left regardless of the circumstances. They gave him a chance at the SEC level when nobody else would. They gave him basically everything you could need to build a championship contender at Ole Miss, evidence being that he built one at Ole Miss. And He's doing documentaries talking about he's finally found peace, happiest he's ever been. The grass isn't always greener. And then he bails. He is right that Ole Miss fans would have been hurt no matter what, in part because they lost a coach who was doing things that had never been done before at the University of Mississippi. The same way Memphis fans were hurt when John Calipari left, Ole Miss fans would have been hurt when Lane Kiffin left, no matter how he left. That is true. But the whole world wouldn't be calling this guy what they're calling this guy if he'd have just left like normal people leave jobs. He did something so, like, quite literally unprecedented and in most people's minds out of bounds that is why it's on CNN. That is why Michael Wilbon is on ESPN calling him all sorts of names, none of them good. You think Michael Wilbon cares about Ole Miss or has ever even been there? I mean, maybe on the second part, but definitely not on the first. And he's like, man, this guy, it's not that he left. He connects to the anger at the airport to this was always going to be the way it was going to be unless I died here or retired. And that's just not true. It didn't have to be like that. He's one of one. And the reason is because he walked away from a national championship contender en route. I'm not promising you Ole Miss is going to win it or even a game in the playoff, but they've got a shot. They will be seeded in a way that suggests this is a team that can really win this whole thing. Either way, it was a team that was about to experience a home game in the college football playoff, which could arguably be called the biggest sporting event in the history of the state of Mississippi. They were about to play the biggest game, arguably, in program history, certainly modern program history. And you walked away from that. Nobody else has ever done that, ever. And people can hypothesize about whether it will become common going forward or ever happen again. I'm skeptical that this is normal or that it will ever be normal. I think most people presented with the exact same set of circumstances as Lane Kiffin would look at LSU on Sunday morning and say, if I was 9-3 instead of 11-1, I'd be missing the playoffs and I would take your job right now. But I'm 11-1. I didn't think I was going to be 11-1. I can't believe this. But I'm 11-1. I'm about to host a college football playoff game. Mm-hmm. And I cannot leave that. I can't leave that. Man, I would kill for your job. If I have a bad season next season, call me. Sign your next coach to a one-year contract and call me if I have a bad season next season. But I cannot walk away from the biggest sporting event in my school's history. I cannot walk away from the biggest sporting event in the state's history. I can't walk away from those young men who I lured to Oxford, yes, with money, but also with dreams about winning a championship. And now I've got them in a position to do it. And you're telling me if I want your job, I got to take it now. And as much as I'd like to, I can't. I really believe that's what most people would say. I'm certain that's what I would do. Certain. And he doesn't seem to understand that yet. And maybe he never will. You know, there are some people who just can't ever get that. But if he does, he'll look back on this someday and realize if there's anything of substance inside of that guy, you'll see an interview with him someday where he looks back on what happened Sunday, what happened this weekend, what happened over the past couple of weeks, and he'll have regrets about it. But he doesn't seem to have them right now. He looked really happy yesterday.
Did you see he left the dog behind?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's true and what's not about that. There was all sorts of...
They're saying Juice Kiffin's a plant dog.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff on the internet yesterday about Juice Kiffin and about Landry Kiffin.
Who's that?
Daughter.
Oh, who's dating the LSU guy?
Yeah, it's even more complicated than that.
Oh, was it? I didn't see all that, but I remember you referenced that story weeks ago, which she was dating the star player from LSU.
That's true. She is still, as far as I know, I'm not following that closely, but as far as I know, she is still dating Whit Weeks at LSU. But there was other stuff on the internet about her yesterday.
Well, I'll go look at it after the show.
I'll send you a link in the next break.
Sounds good. The dog thing that hurts a little bit.
Yeah, there's so it was a wild day on the internet A lot of stuff about Landry. Bless her heart. Maybe we should stop talking about young women from Ole Miss on the internet. I think everybody had to go back and apologize for that earlier in the year.
I believe there's lawsuits involved there. Yeah, so be careful.
Maybe we should just stop talking about young women from Ole Miss.
That's
all right?
That's probably a good idea.
But there's a lot. You could just Google, do Twitter search, and you'll see. You'll run right into it. All right? And then about the dog. So he's been posting about this dog. He loves this dog. And, you know, people like people who love dogs. It makes you feel,
of course,
look a little more human, right? And now there's, I guess, speculation that he left the dog behind and the dog never really even lived with him over the past couple of years. This is all just stuff I read on the internet. I don't know if any of it's true.
And when you see the dog, it does look like a plant dog. Like that's like the dog that you're like, let's throw that dog in this picture to make this family look nice.
Yeah, it's like you know, the single guy who gets a dog to take to the park to walk around
right.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
You make what kind of dog is that? That dog's so cute.
I hope Juice finds a good home.
Dogs can get you somewhere in life, you know? You just take them outside and walk around a little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody likes a cute dog, you know?
They do.
It's a good conversation starter. So there's some thought that he didn't really love there's some thought that despite what he said over those 6 years, he didn't really love Ole Miss like he said, and he didn't really love Juice like he said.
That might be the most egregious thing out of all this, to me, at least.
I think you got to love your dogs.
I do too. It goes without saying.
I love my dog.
I love my dog too.
Except, does your dog?
Yes, my dog annoys the shit out of me.
No, I love my dog.
I still love him. Yeah.
But here's what drives me crazy about my dog. Little Luca. Little Lukey. I love him so much. But he ignores me completely. Like he won't even look at me. And I love him and I hold him and I sleep with him and I pet him and I kiss him and I tell him I love him and he won't look at me. So like I pull into the driveway. He sits, when we're not there, he will sit on a bench and he will look at, because that bench allows him to look out of a window and he just waits. He's just looking for Kelly to come home. So he'll see me pull in and he doesn't move. He doesn't move. And I could open the door, walk right past him. He won't raise his head. But the second Kelly pulls in the driveway, he jumps off the bench and he's waiting on her. And then she'll come sit down. Wherever she goes for the rest of the night, he follows her. She could go upstairs, downstairs, outside. He just was with her all the time. She sits down in a chair. He wants to jump up with her immediately. Won't look at me. What's going on?
Just don't love you as much as her. So,
I mean, that's clear, but why? Because I love him more than she loves him, I think. I show it more.
Dogs can sense these things, man.
That must be it.
Yeah.
I show it more. I show him more love than she does. But she feeds him and bathes him and stuff.
There you go.
You think that's it?
Probably so.
I ain't trying to do all that stuff. I'm just trying to be loved. I just want him to love me. I don't want to have to do stuff to earn that love.
My dog loves me.
Like I put a roof over your head. I thought about this the other day. Like you could be anywhere right now. You're a dog. And look at where I got you. Look at where I got you. And you still can't even look at me. Shows no appreciation whatsoever. Just
sorry, man.
It's not your fault. But I just wish you'd pay more attention to me, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not even seen in my own home.
I hope it gets better.
Me too.
Go see what's up with Juice. He lives in Mississippi.
I'll go get him, I guess. I'll start fresh with him.
Bring his ass home.
Number 2.
Oh, Florida. They introduced their new head coach yesterday. It's John Summerall from vulnerable Tulane.
He knew it. He knew they were vulnerable.
So, good for him, by the way. And apparently they're already falling in love with him down at Florida because he apparently had a good press conference.
Good.
All right. But it was a sort of an unintentionally funny quote. Like when everybody's talking about morals and ethics and the way you're supposed to be in college athletics. He was asked, like, so you've signed this kind of recruiting class at Tulane. You know, what happens there? And he was like, listen, I do not want to steal my old school's recruiting class. So, like, I told each of those young men who have signed with Tulane that you need to go to Tulane. And everybody's like, oh, well, isn't that great? Without recognizing the Florida coach doesn't want Tulane players.
Right.
The Florida coach doesn't want Tulane recruits. If you were a high school player whose best option was to go to Tulane, you probably don't belong at the University of Florida.
Probably so.
So that's one of those things where it sounds good coming out of his mouth. Like, oh, what a nice guy. He's not trying to – Lane Kiffin's out there trying to burn it down.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's going to burn it down. Wait till the quarterback and the running back transfer to LSU.
Yeah.
Because that's coming.
Yeah. Although I do think Ryan got someone to decommit from Memphis.
Oh, yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, so this is just the – I can remember – like, you remember when John Calipari –
I got no problem with it either.
This is how much sports has changed since John left Memphis for Kentucky. I mean, that people acted like John Calipari was the devil because John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins followed him to Kentucky.
Right.
And it was like they never wanted to play at Memphis. They wanted to play for John Calipari at Memphis, at Kentucky, at East Carolina. It wouldn't have mattered. They just wanted to play for John Calipari. But it was like, you can't take a recruiting class, you devil. Now everybody does it.
Right.
It's just like the most normal. They take players. Like Ben McCollum at Iowa was at Southwest Missouri State, Division II. Got offered the Drake job. Took his best players from Southwest Missouri State to Drake. Won 30 games last year. Got the Iowa job. Took his best players from Drake to Iowa. Mm-hmm. His point guard, who will be on TV tonight. I think it's Iowa, Michigan State. Great Big Ten opener. Iowa's point guard was with Ben McCollum at Division II 1 year as a freshman. Then for the first 2 years, I think. Then went with him to Drake. And then followed him to Iowa.
Damn.
This is just the way it works now. You just take.
Sounds like a great developer of talent.
Oh, he's.
Yeah.
Oh, he's.
I was going to say, like, Division II to Iowa.
He won 4 national championships at the Division II level. Finally got I shouldn't say finally got a D1 offer. He had others, but, like, finally got one he wanted to take, Drake. And he was like, because I talked to him at Big Ten Media Day. I was like, when did you know you could take the Division II players? When did you realize you could take. How did you know? I think this way. How did you know you could take your Division II players to Drake? The Missouri Conference, and like it would work. How'd you know they were talented enough? He's like, I didn't. I was just like, let's see. Mm-hmm. And then he won like 31 something. Went to the tournament. He's like 38. He's undefeated now, 7-0. And he's like 38-4 as a Division I head coach. So he's like a special coaching talent.
Yeah.
The perfect example of what I was talking to Jonah about earlier. That whole, has he ever worked at the high major level? Can he recruit this part of the country? All that stuff that used to matter doesn't matter anymore. It's like, how much money are you offering me? I'll play for you. I don't have to know you or have you sit in my living room and eat mom's spaghetti the way it used to be. It's just like, you're offering me this much, you're offering me this much. Mm-hmm. Okay, now it's just like, do you have cap space or not? So what really matters in coaching, in college athletics now? Are you competent? Do you know what you're doing? Are you a special coaching talent? I don't care how good you are in an in-home visit. That doesn't matter anymore. I don't care how long you've been best friends with the guy that runs the Nike EYBL circuit. That doesn't matter as much anymore. Can you run a program? Are you a special coaching talent? And Ben McCollum seems to be that. Back to John Summerall. He might be that too. Some people think of him that way. But, yeah, different. Because clearly in this era, it's very normal to take players with you, take recruits with you. Even if it wasn't when John Calipari did it, he was a trendsetter because now everybody does it. I just thought it was funny. John Summerall yesterday was like, I'm not. And it's like, yeah, buddy, because you don't. You're at Florida now. You do not want Tulane's high school recruits coming to Florida. You need to keep them in New Orleans. You need to work on getting, Gainesville level recruits. I wish him luck.
Number 3.
Alex Golesh was introduced at Auburn yesterday. Oh, man, they had tons of press conferences in the SEC.
That was a really interesting story that he told about the how this timeline went with the Iron Bowl, and Alex Golesh was actually considered as an Arkansas candidate.
I don't know that everybody's life has these stories in them, but like this is the way life works. And for anybody who missed it or didn't catch it, the way Jonah describes it, not definitively, but like this is all like sort of in play. We're watching the Iron Bowl on Saturday night. It's tied in fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. It could go either way. If Auburn wins that, they
bowl eligible.
They're bowl eligible. They probably knock Alabama out of the playoff, which is almost for them as good as making the playoff.
Yeah, that's like a national championship.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
right.
All right. They possibly then promote their interim, DJ Durkin. So then the Auburn job never opens. So then Alex Golesh is like, I can't take Auburn because it's not opening. What's my next best? Hey, agent, what's my next best offer? Well, Arkansas is still there. Well, I didn't want Arkansas if I could take Auburn, but now Auburn's not opening. I'll take Arkansas. He goes to Arkansas, and Ryan's still the coach at Memphis.
Maybe so.
Yeah, I mean maybe. Maybe.
I mean, Kentucky came open. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like your Ryan Silverfield's entire life might have changed because of the last 6 minutes of the Iron Bowl.
The Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
Wild.
Like
Yeah.
that's wild to think about. Like he went from complaining about a contract at Memphis, privately at least, to getting a $35 million contract at Arkansas perhaps because of the way the Iron Bowl ended on Saturday night.
Crazy.
So Alex Golesh, after Alabama won and Auburn decided not to promote from within, Alex Golesh becomes the new head coach at Auburn. He's introduced yesterday, and I guess it's fine. The question, I'm not big on kicking a man when he's down, or at least I try not to be. I'm not saying I've never had my moments, but as I've gotten older, I try not to be. But obviously, a big storyline, we've talked about it here, at Auburn was Hugh Freeze played golf a lot. And
I remember that story.
It's one of those things where I think it's when you lose or don't win enough, then people start looking for any reason that you're not winning enough. And if you are winning enough, nobody really cares how you spend your free time, right?
Right.
I mean, nobody in Oxford was mad at Lane Kiffin for getting up and spending an hour at yoga every morning.
Right.
You know? Oh, well, he's just taking care of himself. It's fine. If he'd been losing, I promise you they'd been on mess board somewhere being like, I don't know why he's in there stretching every goddamn morning. He could be in the office getting the quarterback. You know, like this is just. Anyway, Hugh Freeze played golf a lot, and that became a talking point among Auburn fans. So Alex Golesh is introduced yesterday. And Kyrie, if you got it, here's a question he was asked.
My question to you is, do you like to play golf?
So it's a setup question. Been here long enough to know that. So my little man, Barrett, loves golf. And Corbin used to, and she's now super into cheerleading and flag football, so she's just doing it as a hobby now. And my wife is an elite golfer. I like football more than golf. And I'm terrible.
So it's fine.
Pretty good, yep.
It's fine. I guess the reporter got out of it what they wanted to get out of it, and people chuckled. But I don't like that's just a shot at a guy out the door who probably already doesn't feel so great about how things went there. I find it unnecessary, but I'm sure they had fun with it down there. Just on the whole golf thing, that's certainly what you say. Like, oh, I'm a football guy, not a golf guy. Don't ever forget who is held up as the GOAT of American sports of our lifetime.
Michael Jordan.
Nobody plays more golf than Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
All right.
They made I remember like the Space Jam action figure set, and there was 3 Michael Jordan figures. It was one of him playing basketball, one of him playing baseball, and one of him with a golf club.
It's just like, it doesn't matter until it matters. The idea that I do believe that like golf does take you away from things. It does. You can get single-minded obsessed with it, and you look up and you're watching YouTube videos, and you look up and you're hitting balls on a Wednesday afternoon, and all you're thinking about is get back to the course on a Sunday morning. Like, I get that. But the idea that you can't be a great football coach at the collegiate level while also spending some of your free time golfing, that's a fallacy. Michael Jordan was winning NBA championships and MVPs and golfing all of the time, more than most normal people do. He figured out a way to do it. Maybe that's time he could have spent being, focusing on other aspects of his life. But he managed to be an incredibly successful athlete and a golfer. Yeah. And so I still believe it's possible. You can't lose football games and also be on the tee sheet a lot. Not because those two things are connected, but because people will connect those two things. And Alex Golesh had to handle that question yesterday, and I guess he handled it fine.
Number 4.
So Monday Night Football was that was something last night.
Yeah,
that got away from
the Patriots.
That got away from the Giants pretty quick.
Yeah.
Patriots got the best record in the NFL.
It's wild.
They never lose. You fired a coach that never loses. Think about that.
He is great.
Now, you're a fan of a team. I hope you realize this. You're a fan of a team that never wins, that also fired a coach that never loses. Why'd you do that?
I didn't do anything. I don't know. I will question it every day for the rest of my life until we start winning games again.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. Drake May looks pretty good.
They're talking about him like he's an MVP.
He's just that
a second-year
completion
MVP
percentage. Man, he's just like
they say he's a second-year MVP.
Consistent.
Top 5 pick. They say he's a second-year MVP.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the highlight of the whole night. Do you see this kicker?
Younghoe Koo.
What is Younghoe Koo doing?
I don't know what happened there. You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me a little bit of the I heard Vernon and them talking about it yesterday. The Vince Williams 3-point shot that he just glitched. You remember that the other night? He just acted like he was about to shoot the 3 and then just lost the ball.
Like somebody unplugged him.
Yeah, he got unplugged, and that happened last night in this game.
So let's watch this, Kyra, if you got it. This is a professional field goal kicker, and this is Monday Night Football, and he just decided to kick the.
There you go. You got it.
What?
Oh, ow,
that's the ground,
horrible.
buddy. That's the ground.
Hurt.
What? That's the. Oh,
that's how you get turf toe.
He thought his foot was an excavator. He thought he's Bob the Builder with his foot.
I've never seen that in an NFL game.
Now, in fairness, it looks like the holder was doing some funny stuff with the ball.
Oh, what you doing? Yeah, man. He didn't get any of the flack. He was holding it wrong.
You're holding it wrong. You don't even know how to hold it. And you got, oh my God.
I think that's Younghoe's second team this season. I believe he got cut by maybe the Falcons.
Well, I can see why.
Yeah.
The buddy kicking the dirt. Why are you kicking the ground so much?
I don't know.
I bet that did hurt.
I bet that hurt bad. I bet that hurt.
It hurt. And then, did you see Jackson Dart on the sideline? Oh, man. Jackson Dart turns away. This is one of the things where you just got to remember. You're Jackson Dart. You're the quarterback of the New York Giants. There's a camera on you.
I saw it. I know
all times. There's a camera on you at all times. But he turns around and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I might take the chain off if I'm Jackson. Just your team stinks. It's a little showboaty.
I don't know. Young people like chains. Young people in Vernon.
It's just him standing on the sideline with that chain. And I'm just like, okay, bro.
I don't know. I got an 8-year-old who's
down 30.
I got an 8-year-old who genuinely believes you can't play baseball unless you got 4 chains on.
Yeah, maybe that's just sports these days.
My little guy thinks.
What do I know?
My little
sound
guy,
like an old fart saying that, huh?
Man, my little guy thinks he's Ellie De La Cruz every game. Got 100 chains on and sunglasses. Does not matter whether the sun's out or not.
Yeah, I do think Jackson Dart's going to be awesome. I heard the guys on the halftime show talking about it. He does got to chill because he's coming back off a concussion and he got rocked multiple times last night.
Buddy, step out of bounds.
Yeah, you get the hit out of bounds, and that was totally legal. But then there was another play too.
Legal but dirty.
It was kind of dirty. I agree, it was dirty, but Vrabel teams, they are going to play through the whistle.
I know, but if Mahomes is running that same way,
that's a flag. That is 100% a flag. If that's Mahomes,
or it doesn't even happen because nobody's going to hit him or they'll just say you just push him out of bounds. Whatever, you don't hit him like that. They dove at him.
They didn't like the chain either. No,
so legal, but that. Not every quarterback would get hit like that. But he's got to understand they're gonna hit you like that. So you gotta get out of there. He takes too many hits.
Yeah, so that's just going to be a problem for him if he doesn't figure that out. But I mean, dude, you can see it. I think he's going to be good.
All in people believe in him.
Yeah,
that he's the answer at quarterback. Now you got to figure out the coach.
Yep.
They were talking about Mike Tomlin.
It seems like that it could get weird in Pittsburgh.
Oh, it's already getting weird.
Yeah, it's getting weird. There's weird stuff on the internet about him. It's getting kind of ugly. He's been there for so long. It's another quarterback retread. It's kind of same old, same old. I mean, I think he's still a great coach. It does feel like that it could be going in
I saw a former Steeler on TV, one of those clips that just pops up in your thing. And he was it felt like this weekend felt like something changed.
Yes.
This could be, hey, if you would like to go coach somewhere else, we wouldn't mind you going and coaching somewhere else. And so if you
like Rodgers gets knocked out of the game, you feel like you've seen it 1,000 times where a backup quarterback comes in for them. I don't know. It just feels like it's maybe running its course.
I mean, I'm not going to pretend to be Adam Schefter, but if I were the Giants and Mike Tomlin was open to me, I would do that in a second. That actually makes a ton of sense.
He's
just a serious person. He's like a competent, serious, no nonsense. Like that's the type of guy I'd hire to run anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to stand next to that guy. I'd hire him in a second. He just people laugh at your franchise, and nobody laughs at him.
Right.
I'd hire Mike Tomlin in a second.
I think I would too.
All right.
I would too.
All right. Hey. We'll keep following it.
Okay, sounds good.
I like it when we keep following things.
Number
I
5.
thought this was funny. NBA announced its Players of the Week for the previous 7 days yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
In the East, it's New York Knicks guard Jalen Brunson. In the West, it's Los Angeles Lakers guard Luka Doncic. What do they have in common? They both played for the Mavericks, and Nico Harrison let one walk and traded the other. That's your legacy.
Damn.
What do you think?
In the East and the West, too. That's
Same
rough.
week.
That's
the NBA
rough.
said, hey, we got 15 teams over here, and we got 15 teams over here. We got to figure out who's been the best player among these 15 teams and who's been the best player among these 15 teams. Let's figure it out over the past week. Who is it? And they were like, Jalen Brunson. Oh, Jalen Brunson. Is that the guy that Nico Harrison let walk in Dallas? Just let him walk for nothing. Unrestricted free agent. Just walk for nothing. Yeah, that's him. Interesting. All right, what we got over here in the West? Who we going with? Luka Doncic. Son of a bitch. Is that the guy?
Mm-hmm.
Used to be in Dallas. Nico Harrison traded him. Yeah, that's right. What in the world?
How did Luka get it this week? He got worked at home by Dylan Brooks last night.
Well, it was announced before that.
It was announced before then. Okay.
How about Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bain went big last night?
Bro, okay. First off, like I knew that he would that they would figure that out in Orlando. That was the early season. Like, what's wrong with the Magic? I was like, just chill. That'll be fine. The Dylan thing, everyone was wrong about Dylan. They just were. Except me.
I will say, I still believe it had gotten so whatever that I mean, I said what I said.
Mm-hmm.
I was ready for him to go. It is true that this franchise has not been the same since then. And it is also true that
look where he's been.
He has impacted things positively basically everywhere he's been, if not everywhere he's been.
I mean, everyone thought this Suns team was going to be terrible
and
this
they're
season.
not terrible.
Bottom feeder
And we
of the
need
West.
them to be terrible.
We need them to be terrible. We have their draft pick. They're 13-9, and it is him like he is like the leader on that team. Even Devin Booker, you saw his press conference a couple of weeks ago. He was like, he's a culture changer.
He appears to be a culture changer.
I miss that guy. I do.
Yeah, like I understood, like, yo, man, you got to go.
Mm-hmm.
I won't hide from that.
But all these years later, he's still doing the same thing to LeBron.
Does it look like it was possibly a mistake in hindsight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course it does.
Did you see the and I mean, Houston traded him too. Like it's
right. Yeah, but they did it for Kevin Durant.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, but also there is no guarantee that you would have ever gotten the version of Dylan Brooks that Houston and Phoenix had gotten in Memphis. He might have needed the change of scenery to change some of the things that needed to be changed. Keep the stuff that makes you who you are, but like stop shooting so much. Like
he took 26 shots.
I know.
Last night.
I know, but in Houston, he clearly played under control and was more of he was different.
Yeah.
And despite what happened last night, he has largely been a different player since leaving Memphis. Same demeanor, but different player since leaving this franchise. You wouldn't disagree with that, would you?
I don't know, man. I think he might be kind of the same player.
Okay.
He's just playing better. He's not shooting them out of games.
Well, he did do that in Memphis.
He did do that at least at one point.
So let's just drill down on that.
Yeah.
He's not shooting them out of games. Well, he used to do that here all the time.
I would take take the bad.
Okay. His final, I don't know how we ended up talking about Dylan Brooks. His final 4 seasons in Memphis, he took 14.6 shots 15.4 shots, 16.4 shots, and 13.6 shots. Then he goes to Houston, and it drops to 10.7.
Okay.
So at peak in Memphis, he was taking 16.4 shots per game and only making 43% of them, 31% from three. His first year in Houston, it goes down to 10.7. And then last season, 11.9. Obviously, now he's on a different team, so those numbers are back up.
Yeah.
But in Houston, he got things under control from a taking bad shots perspective. And I don't know that he would have ever gotten that under control in Memphis because he really did think he was part of a big three.
Yeah. Which he is now. I mean, he's part of a big two with him and Booker, and he's doing it. But
well, let's not act like they're about to win anything of significance.
We'll see.
They're better than we thought they'd be.
They're better than we thought they'd
but that's what they are. And like you can put they're merely better than we thought. Not amazing, just better than we thought.
They smacked the Lakers around last night,
I know.
and it was all him. They smacked around. And did you see what I think Bronny got a stop on him and LeBron did the thumbs down from the bench? And then Dylan even said more stuff about LeBron in the post game. I think he was like, LeBron wants you to, he said something like LeBron wants you to bow down to him, and I don't do that. I was like, damn. I do miss that stuff. I like that stuff.
I will tell you that I got tired of that stuff as it was happening.
But when you see it from afar, you're like, that was kind of cool.
I got tired of it while it was happening. But have we lacked something in its absence? Yeah, I think so.
We're getting it back, though.
I think we're getting it back.
We're getting it back.
Hey,
a different version.
A different version, but three-game winning streak. Let's focus on three-game winning streak.
Let's do that.
Let's not focus on what Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane did last night.
I know. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, I don't know why you had to bring that up.
You brought up Luka.
I know. And then you couldn't wait to talk about what Dylan Brooks did.
I know. When I
last
saw
night.
you had Luka and 5 more things, I was
You
like,
were
let me go.
I know. I'm gonna turn this. I know what I'm about to turn this into a Dylan Brooks segment. Let's not focus on what Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane did last night.
Okay.
Let's focus on a 3-game winning streak that could be extended to 4 later tonight. Grizz in San Antonio, 7:00 tip.
Yeah.
And congratulations to Luka Doncic.
Congrats.
And congratulations to Jalen Brunson. They're your Eastern Conference, Western Conference Players of the Week. Both of them used to be at Dallas, but they let one walk and gave the other one away.
Yikes.
I'm just glad Nico Harrison never worked here, you know?
Thank God.
Thank God. Be back with Carryout.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Own the 2025-26 Grizzlies season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule. So don't miss out.
The
Grizzlies are proud to team up with Prime Global Group, a company on a mission to redefine real estate investment. By leveraging deep experience, strategic insight, and robust resources, Prime Global Group is shaping a smarter, socially responsible future. Whether you're an investor or simply curious, now's the time to explore innovative strategies that align with your values. Join the movement and discover how you can be a part of this exciting evolution. Visit primeglobalgroup.net to learn more and connect with the team today. That's primeglobalgroup.net.
This holiday season, forget the ordinary and give the extraordinary. Holiday ticket packs are more than tickets. They're a pass to dunks, buzzer beaters, and unforgettable memories. Imagine the roar of the crowd, the thrill of the game, and the joy of sharing it all with family and friends. Holiday packs are the ultimate way to spread cheer. Don't settle for socks and sweaters. Give the gift of Grizzlies game day and visit grizzlies.com/packs. That's grizzlies.com/packs to get holiday ticket packs today. Let's do carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
So before we get to that, just coincidentally, I'm literally just glancing at Twitter in the break, and Nate Jones, who works with the agency and all that stuff, but he's in basketball. And tweets the following. Is Dylan Brooks the ultimate floor raiser in the NBA? It's now Memphis, Houston, and Phoenix where he's brought an edge that's changed a franchise's trajectory.
How about that?
Sounds like you and Nate Jones need to be in a little group text together.
Yeah, I like that thinking,
since y'all love Dylan Brooks so much.
I do.
No, can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. I mean, 3 different places. You've made it better than people thought it would be.
Yes.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. We do need that draft pick to get a little sweeter, though. But not gonna have it anytime soon.
Tiger Woods. What did we miss? Tiger Woods updated the world.
What's going on with him?
Well, he's
I hadn't heard that name in a minute.
He's recovering from Achilles surgery.
Oh yeah.
He's always recovering from something.
Yeah.
50 years old, and he was asked, "So when do you think you're gonna come back and play golf again, maybe?" And you know what he said?
Never.
No, he didn't say never.
Oh.
Wouldn't that have been funny though if he did? What if he just said, never? I will never play golf again. He said it's too early to put a timetable on it. Said he was cleared just last week to start chipping and putting.
Okay.
Confirmed he will not be able to play. He plays in that tournament every year with his son, Charlie.
Yes.
Not going to be able to play in that. Won't be healthy enough to play in that. And obviously isn't playing this week down in the Bahamas. He's hosting an event in the Bahamas, and that's why he was given media availability, but didn't rule out the idea of someday playing on the PGA Tour again. Yeah, playing on the Champions Tour, returning to major golf, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be anytime soon because, he's a 50-year-old man recovering from Achilles surgery. And he tore his Achilles while recovering from something else. He was training, recovering from something else, and tore his Achilles while recovering.
That sounds awful. I hope I never tear my Achilles.
Yeah, I guess I'd put that on my list of hopes as well. It's ridiculous that I'm healthier. I am more physically capable of playing golf for the past few years than Tiger Woods is. That seems unfair and stupid.
It does seem unfair.
And stupid.
Yeah.
I can go play golf whenever I want, and Tiger Woods can't. And that seems unfair and stupid. Anyway, I hope he gets better.
I do too.
Yeah, he's working hard, he says.
Rest up, Tiger.
Yeah, rest up.
What's today's biggest game?
What a bummer this is.
What's going on?
Well, I was about to tell you about UConn and Kansas playing tonight at Allen Fieldhouse. And I was going to explain to you how it should be the return of Darren Peterson, the 5-star freshman for KU.
He ain't playing tonight, huh?
He's missed the past handful of games. He hasn't played since November 7th. And there were expectations that he would return tonight for a big game at Allen Fieldhouse against Dan Hurley's UConn Huskies. And Bill Self has just announced within the past 15 minutes, Darren Peterson will not play.
Yikes.
He is very close, said Bill Self. He has worked his butt off, but he is still not 100%. So he is out tonight and day 2 day. So that's a bummer. Like, you look forward to these guys coming to college, and you know you're only going to get them for one season, and that means you're only going to get them for, 30-something games, probably. And here's Darren Peterson just missing one game after another. Like, there was only ever going to be one time ever where we could have UConn, Kansas, inside Allen Fieldhouse with Darren Peterson on the court. And now we won't have it.
That's tough. It's an awesome college basketball night.
Awesome.
Yeah, like every game.
It started Big Ten play.
All these top 25 games are awesome.
Tennessee is at Syracuse. Iowa's at Michigan State. You get Florida, Duke, UConn, Kansas, Carolina, Kentucky. Late night, USC is at Oregon. That's Big Ten, believe it or not. Purdue, number 1, undefeated, at Rutgers. That should be no problem for them, but, they've had good teams lose at Rutgers before.
Yeah.
So, awesome night of college basketball. But Darren Peterson will not be a part of it. UConn is a 1.5-point favorite.
Give me the Huskies.
So this is wild. I was looking this up last night. Bill Self has been the coach at Kansas for 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's an underdog tonight at Allen Fieldhouse.
Okay.
How many times do you think he's been an underdog in his 22 years at Kansas at home?
I'll say, I'm sure that it's not the first time some great teams have come through there. I'll say he has been one other time.
2 other times.
2 other times. Okay.
The first was February 27th, 2021. Kansas was a 4.5-point underdog at home to Baylor.
Okay.
This is the Baylor team that won the national championship. Right. And Kansas beat them 71-58. The only other time besides tonight and that time that Kansas has been an underdog at home under Bill Self, February 3rd, 2024, Kansas 1.5-point underdog at home to Houston.
Who was number 1, right?
Yeah. Or like up there.
Up there, yeah.
Kansas won that game 78-65. So Bill Self has literally never lost a home game as an underdog at KU in 22 seasons. Never. Now, he's only been in that position twice previously, which is a testament to just how 22 years you're only an underdog at home 3 times, and one of the times is because your best player's hurt. Crazy. But he's never lost a home game as an underdog. But you're predicting it happens tonight? First time for everything.
Yes.
Okay,
Give me the Huskies.
Bennett said take UConn minus 1.5. Tip tonight inside Allen Fieldhouse. We're doing it at 8 o'clock. You can watch it on ESPN2.
What are we watching on TV?
Can I interest you in Sean Combs' The Reckoning?
Maybe. I did see the picture of him in the prison yard.
Those are AI.
Oh. I got finally.
Yeah, well,
I've been pretty good at deciphering this stuff.
I don't think we have any idea how crazy the world's going to get. I mean, it's already pretty crazy, but it's going to get crazier.
I mean, I was just scrolling. I wasn't
But you don't know what's real or not anymore. Like, you see a picture. We have reached a point already. You see a picture and you have no idea if that's real or not. Read a story. No idea if that's real or not. I see quotes all the time. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. Did he say that? No, didn't say that at all.
I don't like it.
It's just, we've reached a point where you can open your phone and you have no idea if what you're reading or seeing is real.
I don't like that one bit.
It's just confusing.
I'm actually ashamed of myself. I've been pretty good at deciphering these things.
Oh, I mean, I did one a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were right in the middle of the show, and Vernon sends me a text. It's like, oh, look, somebody tweeted Woj got thrown out of a game.
Oh, yeah, and it just wasn't true.
It just wasn't true.
Yeah.
Just wasn't true. Like, it just wasn't true.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole world was walking around believing it was true. St. Bonaventure had to release a statement saying it's just not true.
Because the thing is, especially with social media, like, it doesn't matter. Like, once it goes viral, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Like, it's already out there in the stratosphere.
Be honest. Did you know that story wasn't true?
What?
As of this moment. Like,
what story?
5 minutes ago, this Woj getting kicked out of a game.
Yes, I saw it.
You subsequently heard it wasn't true.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
But a lot of people just still think that that's a thing.
That happened.
That happened. That is a thing that happened. Just did not happen. I don't like it either.
Mm-mm.
So anyway, Diddy has not been photographed in the yard in prison. According to his representation, those are AI generated photos. All right.
Yikes.
Anyway, 50 Cent has
What did he say?
Oh, I don't know, but he's the one behind this. This is his thing.
What?
He made this.
How's there not like a lawsuit involved? 50 Cent's been dragging him forever.
And he's apparently got behind the scenes footage of like that they're not that Diddy's people are like, we don't know how he got that footage, but he shouldn't have that footage type of stuff. Like
where is this?
Netflix. I mean, it's big time.
Oh, I might have to check this out.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be number one on Netflix it might be right now. Like, let's see what happens when we go to Netflix right now.
So this just dropped.
Literally like last night, this morning type of thing.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check it out.
Let's see if they shove it right in my face.
I bet it's number 2.
Should have said that.
Yeah, careful. I bet it's number 3 on Netflix right now.
Top 10 TV shows in the USA Today. Stranger Things. People love Stranger Things. I knew that was
going to be number 1.
Oh, people love them some Stranger Things.
It was okay.
Sean Combs' The Reckoning. It has been recently added. I don't know if it's registering yet. My prediction, by this time tomorrow, we will revisit this tomorrow.
It won't be number 1. Stranger Things will be number 1.
But this will be
top 3.
But is that going to go down? Is Sean Combs' The Reckoning going to go down as movie instead of TV show? It's a 4-part documentary. I think it goes under films.
If it's under films, then it could definitely
be
get
number 1 tomorrow. This time tomorrow, we will revisit.
Well,
and it
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Well, I don't know.
Where are they sitting? They've been number 1 for like 2 years.
Let's see. Top 10 movies today is Trolls 2. Is that a thing? Trolls 2?
That's been out forever. I don't know why.
Rio.
Where's K-pop Demon Hunters?
Jingle Bell Heist. Rio 2. Aquaman. Aquaman's in the top 5.
Yeah,
people still watching that?
I guess the Demon Hunters have fallen off.
6. K-pop Demon Hunters is 6. Crossroads, starring Britney Spears, is 7.
Nostalgia.
No, here's what happens. Netflix just tells you what to watch, and then people just watch it.
Yeah.
People say Netflix can just be like, "Hey, here's a Britney Spears movie from 50 years ago," and they just put it right in your face, and you're like, "I guess we're watching a Britney Spears movie tonight."
And people just see that and are like, "Oh my God, I remember that." I feel like that's a big part of it too.
And then like Britney's always in the news. So it's like, oh, that's the girl who's always in the news. And I don't know. I don't know what's happening out there. But Sean Combs, he's in trouble. I don't know if you heard.
I did hear.
He's in trouble. Now 50 Cent got a documentary about it. 50 Cent's my old workout buddy. We used to work out together.
You told me that. Yeah, y'all are at the gym.
And by work out together, I mean we were in the same gym one time. Nice guy, though.
You didn't say hey, did you?
I did. I hit him with a what's up.
Did he hit you back?
Yes, he hit me with the. We've got the elevator. We left the gym at the same time.
Nice.
I walked in. True story. It was Parker Meridian Hotel, and they had a really nice gym in the basement under the hotel, and you would randomly see. I never really saw famous people in there other than 50 Cent, but like I would hear stories of like Manny Pacquiao was in here yesterday, like that kind of stuff. And I remember talking to like one of the managers one time, because this is the hotel I stayed at for years.
Yeah.
And so I was there all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to one of the managers, and I said, so like, what is the deal with like, most hotel gyms, it's just hotel gyms, for hotel people. But like 50 Cent's here, Manny Pacquiao's here. He said, most of the gyms in New York are above ground, obviously. And like famous people we're underground.
Yes.
There's no windows down here. Nobody is staring at them from the streets. It's just sort of more private. And so that's why celebrities would sometimes come there. So anyway, I walk in the gym one day, and there's this man. He's just sitting on a bench. His back is to me, and he's got tattoos on his back. And I swear to God, this is exactly what happened. I was like, man, those look like 50 Cent's tattoos. I recognized his tattoos. And then I walked by, and I was like, oh, that's 50 Cent. And then he was over there doing his thing, and I was doing my thing. And his thing looked more strenuous than my thing. And then we happened to leave the gym at the exact same time. And he was like with his trainer or whatever, and they were watching something on their phone. And I was leaving, and they held the elevator door for me. And
that's very kind.
And we made eye contact, and I was like, what's up? And he was like, what's up? And that was it. We left it right there.
Good.
I didn't hit it with like, man.
No, that's good. You leave it there.
Leave it right there. Yeah. I don't need to tell him about the time we were in the club,
Right.
Just leave it right there. Just what's up, and we're good. And we rode the elevator up, and that's the last time I saw him.
It's a good story.
Now he's got a Diddy documentary.
We will support.
It's on Netflix. I'm going to watch it.
I will too.
All right, let's go.
What's the best thing we've read?
Jeff Eisenberg over at Yahoo Sports had a really interesting story about the growing divide between the haves and have-nots in college athletics. Transfer portal, NIL. Basically, he didn't just say, it's getting harder for the little guys to compete. He actually went and did the numbers on it. Simply put, in years past, before the sport blew up, you might notice right now, go to the AP poll, every team in it is from a power conference except Gonzaga.
Oh, yeah.
Except Gonzaga. everybody else power conference. In November in previous years, on average, you get power conference teams against non-power conference teams. And the non-power conference, the little guys, mid-majors, they'd win those games about 10% of the time.
Yep.
About 10% of the time. This season, it's 5. It's been cut in half. And it's because of the gap. As he has mid-major coaches explaining, used to you'd have best players and you'd probably keep them because they didn't want to sit out a year if they transferred up. Now they don't have to sit out a year and they can get paid a lot of money that we can't pay. So you can't keep your best players anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not only still recruiting the best players from high school, they're recruiting the best players from your campus. And then you have to go find players, and the gap's too big. Can't make it up. There were no mid-majors in the Sweet 16 last season. And some people are like, yeah, but it's just 1 year, small sample size. There's a lot of evidence to suggest this is the way it's going to be going forward. You can read about it at Yahoo Sports.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow will be Wednesday, so we'll be looking back at Grizzly Spurs. Chris Vernon will join me in the first hour. That's always fun. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll try to enjoy mine, and we will meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful. Be kind, be good, rep your hood.